A minute really isn't a lot of time. It takes almost 3 just to pop a bag of popcorn, but in just 60 seconds, everything can change. Lives can be created or destroyed, battles won or lost. Even just a single word can inspire revolution. But would you believe that to alter the course of history, all you had to do was misplace a cigar box? Not many people consider the true implications of the choices they make, yet all it takes is one snowflake to create an avalanche. These last-minute decisions were made with very little weight behind them. When all was said and done, though, the world was never the same again. 1. Initially, the town of Kokura in the Japanese city of Kitakyushu was one of the targets of the United States nuclear attack on Japan. As the bombers approached, they found it was too cloudy to fly and targeted Nagasaki instead. 2. While campaigning for the presidency in 1912, Teddy Roosevelt was shot in the chest by a would-be assassin. Just moments earlier, Roosevelt had placed a folded 50-page speech into his breast pocket, which slowed the bullet and ultimately saved his life. 3. After a Russian contingent captured the Pristina airport in 1999, NATO peacekeeping forces were called in to block the runways. At the last minute, Commander Mike Jackson refused the order from his superior, telling him, "I'm not going to start the Third World War for you." 4. As Dr. Alexander Fleming readied for his annual vacation in 1928, he decided not to clean up the many Petri dishes stacked on his work table. When he returned, he discovered a mold had formed and killed much of his bacteria samples he'd created penicillin. 5. Just before the RMS Titanic set sail on its ill-fated maiden voyage, Second Officer David Blair made a last-minute decision to stay behind on shore. The move seemed inconsequential until it was later discovered that Blair had the only key to the ship's binoculars. 6. One of Germany's most skilled tacticians during World War II, Erwin Rommel was in charge of overseeing the defenses at Normandy. On a whim, he decided to leave his post and take his wife on vacation. That day turned out to be D-Day. 7. At the height of tensions between the United States and North Korea in the early 90s, Defense Secretary William Perry devised a bombing plan to scare off the enemy. Fearing an all-out war, however, Perry scrapped the plan at the last second, and the two countries were able to broker a peace. 8. During the first wave of the Bay of Pigs invasion, the international community grew increasingly disapproving of the United States' involvement. At the last second, President John F. Kennedy canceled the necessary wave of air support for the troops on the ground in Cuba, leading to the failure of the operation. 9. On September 26, 1983, Russia's Oko nuclear early warning system detected a nuclear attack from the United States, though Commanding Officer Stanislav Petrov believed it was a false alarm and chose not to fire back. The warnings were, in fact, a false alarm. Petrov had prevented a full-scale nuclear war. 10. In an attempt to eliminate Fidel Castro, the CIA once hired Marita Lawrence, one of Castro's jaded lovers, to poison him. Lawrence traveled to Cuba and got close enough to kill Castro, though she instead revealed the entire plot to him. 11. Carthaginian military leader Hannibal Barca nearly conquered Rome during the Second Punic War, though one poor choice he made while traversing the Alps cost him victory. To prove that the ground was still solid, Hannibal struck a snowbank. The resulting avalanche wiped out most of his troops. 12. After drawing up a surefire victory strategy for the Battle of Antietam, Robert E. Lee handed the plans off Major General D.H. Hill, who then put them in a cigar box for safekeeping. Unfortunately, Hill misplaced the cigar box. It wound up in the hands of a Union soldier. 13. While fighting for the British during World War I, Private Henry Tandy had a clean shot at a wounded German soldier, though decided to spare his life. Many believe that German soldier was Adolf Hitler. 14. During the American Revolution, German Colonel and Hessian Commander Johann Rall received a letter detailing Washington's planned surprise attack by crossing the Delaware River. Rall, who was caught up in a poker game, ignored the letter. He died at the hands of the Americans the next day.